Good evening, everyone. Hope we are all well. I'm out on another walk, but the difference is that this time it is 10 to 8 at night and not 6 a.m. in the morning. And I've just got another kind of recap video that I'm going to be doing today, post UKDFBA. So it is Monday. UKDFBA was yesterday, and holy smokes, what a show. The standard of athletes across the whole day was unbelievable, extremely high, and it's so cool to see how high the standard of UK natural bodybuilding really is. Like, in terms of like, you go across the globe and you look at the country with the highest standard of natural bodybuilders across all federations, I think it's very hard to argue that the UK isn't the highest. But yeah, crazy standard, especially in the junior class, which was obviously the class that I entered. There was 17 lads in my class, which is huge. Not sure why the UKDFBA decided not to split the class. Their reasoning behind it was questionable. I think Lee said, we didn't split it because to win this class you can say you're the best of the best, but why not just split it into a tall and a short and then do an overall? And then if you win the overall, you're the best of the best. Because in my opinion, judging 17 athletes at the same time is extremely difficult, and you are much more prone to potentially making judging mistakes when there's that many athletes on stage. Having said that, I placed 6th out of 17 athletes, and I'm actually absolutely okay with that. I've had many people tell me that I should have been placed higher, but I wasn't, and that's okay, because that is the sport of bodybuilding. At the end of the day, it's an opinion of the judges. Obviously there is multiple judges and they collate their decision, so there is some element of, you like to think there's some kind of element of objectivity behind it, because it's a collated opinion, so it's not like it's just one person's opinion that can vary. It's an average of many people's opinions. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if people are coming up to me and saying, I think you should have been higher, or I think you should have been placed here, because the only opinions that matter when you compete are the ones of the judges, and the judges had me in 6th, so that's where I placed. And furthermore, to place 6th out of 17 when the standard was as high as it was isn't bad. And I got given qualification to the finals, which obviously means they deem me good enough for that. And yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I was saying this to someone earlier, but how can I get upset at someone else's opinion on my physique when it's literally just men in spray tan wearing a thong with shiny glaze on, posing on a stage? And and people try and think that I should be upset over the fact that someone's opinion is that I came 6th rather than 4th or 3rd or whatever it may be. Like, bodybuilding as a sport, in terms of the actual doing of the sport, it's not that serious. Obviously, winning is nice. Placing high is nice. Granted, of course it is. And everyone wants to do that. And as a competitor myself, yes, I want to do that. But why would I be upset or miffed or salty or get annoyed and angry over the fact that a couple people's opinions on how I looked led me to be in 6th, not 4th or 3rd or 2nd or 5th. Like, it's not that deep. Like, there is so much more to life than getting annoyed at that. So I'm honestly in very high spirits. Reason being, because I brought in an improved look from the week before. And that is what bodybuilding is all about. It's about getting better, constantly pursuing improvement. In the prep setting, it's getting better from show to show after gathering data. And in the off-season setting, it's getting better from progressing lifts, pushing body weight up slowly, getting better with your routine, getting better with your nutrition, getting better with your mindset, everything like that. So bodybuilding as a sport is just about getting constantly a little bit better. And I was a little bit better this weekend than I was the weekend before. And the weekend before, I placed 2nd. And this weekend, I placed 6th. And I'm actually more happy about the 6th place than the 2nd place. And another thing to touch on in regards to not stressing over placings is that the guy who won this weekend, Oliver, fantastic bodybuilder, by the way. Really, really good shape, great lats, great quads. Awesome. So he won this weekend. He came 4th the weekend before in the show that I came 2nd. So it just goes to show different federations, different judges, different opinions. Also, I do believe Ollie spilt in the show 2 weeks ago or a week ago, not the one yesterday. He came in a lot sharper yesterday. So congrats to him for winning. But yeah, feeling good. And we go again in 5 days. So obviously it was Sunday yesterday. It's Monday today, and I compete again on Saturday. So back to back peak weeks for me. And the plan is to dig for a little bit more condition for most of this week, and then just do a very rapid backload, in the sense of it will be literally probably just like 1 or 2 high carb meals pre-stage. My body is uber responsive to food, and I fill up extremely easy, and I could be leaner, and I want to be leaner, because I do believe I've been leaner than I was on stage during this prep. I've been leaner. I feel like I've lost a bit of that condition. I don't know if it's because of the back-to-back peaks and putting more food in, but I do think there is more condition to gain or regain, you could say. So I've spoke with Finn and I've said to him, I want to be sharper. So we're back at baseline at the moment, and we will probably remain at baseline up until Friday and then go from there. In terms of running orders for the show on Saturday, the show starts at 11:30. I'm 4th class on, so I'll probably be on stage around 12:30. So it will most likely be a morning meal and then a smaller meal at around probably 9ish, 10, and then a pre-stage meal at 11:30. I think that will be the plan. But in terms of the improvements to be made, we just want a little bit of a sharper look, especially through the back. I think my posing was a little bit off from the back, potentially just a little bit tired, but glutes could definitely be more in, and they have been more in this prep, so I'm gonna try and get that back. But I was full as a fucking house yesterday, and I really liked my look. Like personally, I like that full look and that kind of like just really like boosh, that fucking burst in look. I think it's just a cool look, you know. But there we are. But thoughts and feelings, positive, feeling good, feeling ready to dig for some more condition. Been running at baseline today and will be at baseline for the rest of the week most likely. Trained legs today at full intensity, just a little bit reduced volume. And steps are back up to 10k as well. Steps have been heavily reduced like the last 4 weeks, but steps are bumped up to 10k. And yeah, that's about it. No cardio still. Don't be silly. But 6 rounds of posing today and 10k steps. So that's kind of like the expenditure. And yeah, we're ready to go again. And I like, this is going to sound crazy, but I love losing. Nothing lights a fire in my belly and nothing makes me want to be better more than losing. That's what teaches you the most about yourself. That's what teaches you the most about what you can be better at. And that's what you learn from. You know, you don't learn from winning a show. You learn from competing against the best of the best in the UK and not winning. So I'm amped up, I'm fired up, I'm ready to go again. But my short walk is over, so I'm going to wrap up this video. Otherwise I would just be here standing like a lemon, which I don't want to do. So I will try and potentially get a peak week video, maybe. I say this every time, I never do, but potentially, we shall see. But I hope you enjoyed this little UKDFBA recap / thoughts and feelings / overview. If you did, leave a like, you know the drill. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.